Hello everybody, welcome back to the sessions on power electronics by Ramana. This is the 31st session in this series and we will continue our discussions on power supplies. In the last two sessions we have discussed the main concepts of power quality characteristics, the problems faced in maintaining the quality of power, and then the remedies to eliminate the problems or noise or disturbances which may occur inside the uh, supply system. And eventually we were introduced to the concept of power supplies which are used in between a given critical load and the actual utility supply source from the company. And those power supplies are of three types: linear or conventional power supply, which we have discussed in the previous session. It has its own drawbacks, which will be acting just like an intermediary power source between the actual source and the load. And the other two types are UPS, that is uninterrupted power supply, and SMPS, switched mode power supply. So, in continuation to the same discussion of power supplies, in this particular session, we will be discussing the concept of UPS and its working, uninterrupted power supplies, their classification and working. These are the things which we have discussed in the previous session. Uh, Power electronic application circuits, power quality characteristics, types of disturbances, devices used to suppress spikes in supply voltage, that is isolation transformer, MOVs, that is metal oxide varistors, snubber circuits, and regulating transformers. And after that we discussed the types of power supplies, and in the drawbacks of the conventional type or linear types of power supplies. Now they are not used for mainstream applications. We will be finding these linear power supplies mostly in the laboratories, electronic laboratories, where we will be using these power supplies as an intermediary source where we can regulate the power coming out of the actual single phase supply we have from the DISCOM and the load. So in this session the objectives are: what is a UPS, its classification, applications, features, and working of different types of UPS, that is offline and online, their advantages, that is a particular comparison between them, distinguishing between them. Before actually going to a UPS, the evolution of UPS came from the actual need of backup. What do you mean by a backup? Backup, as the word means literally, or as it indicates, backup is a standby source or standby machinery or tool which can be used in times of emergencies where the primary tool or equipment gets damaged or is shut down for the purpose of maintenance. So backup is the one which takes the place of the actual equipment in certain durations or certain times where the need arises. And when it comes to these power supplies, obviously you have to supply when the need arises, means when the actual supply source is shut down, or there are due to various reasons, if there are many problems or high voltage fluctuations from the source, then also it is not advisable to run the load on higher voltages. In such cases also the supply should be cut off and there should be something which will run the load without any interruption. For that purpose you need an extra standby source. Means you cannot have a separate supply which is coming from the utility, and only the means where you can have your own supply source is a battery which is DC. So for that purpose it is called simply battery backup. What we will be doing in the case of, or with the main idea behind the battery backup when it started some decades ago is to store the energy, electrical energy, which is in the form of single phase AC, by converting it into DC and charging a battery. It holds on to the energy in the form of chemical energy, and when needed, when the main source is not there, the battery will be delivering its stored chemical energy as DC output to suit to the load. Again, if the load is DC, it can be fed as it is. Otherwise, that has to be inverted or converted back from DC to AC and fed to the load. So this is the concept of battery backup, and this is the main concept on which the all other things are developed and bound to develop UPS or SMPS. They will be having extra features added to this battery backup. So what is a battery backup? It is nothing but battery backup is a reserve source or device which maintains continuity of electrical supply to critical loads. Why should we call it as critical loads? In those days, not only those days, any day when we take the loads, all loads are not critical. It is not particularly compulsory that every load has to be run or operated continuously without any interruption. When it comes to lighting equipment, it may not be always on. Even when it comes to fans for the domestic, even if a fan is put down or turned off for a little duration, it is not a big problem. But when some loads on which we will be continuously working and where we have to properly shut down or stop the load before our work is, or when our work is complete, some precautions have to be taken. So such loads are critical loads which involve continuous operation without any interruptions in the power supply. They are obviously what we know is computers, communication equipments, biomedical instrumentation system, wherever in the hospitals or wherever you are using them for the testing, surgical equipment in the operation theaters, there should not be any disruption of the supply. Post surgical medical equipments, all these things have to be maintained properly without any interruption in the power supply. Or power supply should be given continuously to those loads, and with proper quality also it has to be given. But in the olden days, before battery backup could be developed much, generators were used, particularly diesel generators. They can be used, they are under use till today also. But again, to shape the supply voltage output and its waveform, other features of conversion and inversion and the filtering are required, which cannot be done in the case of all those generators. And again, for computers, communication equipment which are listed over here, these are less rated equipment. For this purpose, you need not procure a generator, or you need not start a generator only to run these loads which are less. So for this purpose, battery backup gained its popularity, and other features also came into existence. So battery backup is nothing but a reserve source or device which maintains continuity of electrical supply to critical loads. Critical loads are those loads which have to be operated without any disruption in the power supply continuously. And when it comes to domestic purposes, computers will be there, communication equipment may also be there, others are commercial equipments for medical and healthcare and other equipment. But again, when it comes to our domestic loads, it is our choice whether we want continuity supply for a particular load or not. Like when we are using computers and TVs and even lighting and fan systems in a particular bedroom or living room, likewise for those particular loads we want continuous supply source. So for those loads also we may have battery backup. So critical loads or the decision of critical loads lies on our individual choice also added to these equipment. These are compulsory critical loads and you can add whatever load you want to have continuity of power supply also. So this is the background of battery backup. From this battery backup is needed because all critical loads require, which were listed in the previous slide, a continuous as well as quality of power supply, no power outages, no power fluctuations, no under or over voltages, no variations in the supply frequency, or simply whatever power quality characteristics we have discussed in the previous sessions, they have to be maintained for all these critical loads. So battery backup, it can be manual or automatic. Again, when it is a manual means whenever supply source is off, an individual or operating personnel should go to the panel board or control panel, first trip the switch of the supply source or open it, then start the battery backup, check its voltage. When its output voltage is in between the proper limits, then only connect it to the load. So this takes time and also it is not automatic. Even if it were automatic, an automatic changeover switch should be applied in between the source, battery and the load, where a battery will be automatically connected to the load depending on the charge available in it whenever it is sensed that supply source is off. This is the feature which is an added feature to the normal manual battery backup, and from there the evolution of UPS or uninterrupted power supply started. So uninterrupted power supply, as the name indicates, it is a power supply which will make sure that the load will be getting its power without any interruption, irrespective of whether the prime or main power supply is there or not. So it is nothing but abbreviated as UPS, which we call and use it in our day-to-day life. It is primarily a backup source, so it is also called as a battery backup. It acts as the source when utility power is not available. And most of the loads we use in our domestic or commercial applications, they may be single phase or AC loads and also DC loads. In the olden days, again, the DC loads were to be given with a separate DC supply where single phase should be converted in a separate unit of rectifier, then that rectified DC should be given to the DC loads. But nowadays this is not a big problem because all the DC loads which we actually operate and use for domestic and commercial purposes like computers, printers, mobiles, everything, they come along with their chargers or battery chargers, which you can simply say that they are nothing but an embedded units of rectifiers and converters and charge controllers, where the actual supply source or single phase supply is converted into DC and fed to the actual DC load. So we need not bother of whether our load is DC or AC. Simply they will come along with their own conversion equipments. We will be mainly focusing on the passing on of the main supply, that is single phase or three phase or AC, to the actual load. as it is straight away to the load or via the battery when source is not there. So it acts as the source when utility power is not available. And how will it be done? We will be discussing. And UPS is connected between the source of power and the load. Source of power is your supply source or utility supply and the load. So UPS is nothing but the intermediary power source. When a power failure occurs, the UPS will effectively switch on by its own automatically and deliver from its own power source, which is nothing but its battery, almost instantaneously. Almost instantaneously. This is the most important feature of expected from any power supply actually, whether it is UPS or SMPS. Instantaneously means there should not be longer gap between the source between the times of source shutdown and the UPS switch on. The time delay between the switching on of the UPS and the turn off of the supply source should be as less as possible, and it should be of the order of nano to microsecond seconds for proper operation of the critical loads which we have discussed. And this particular delay time varies from UPS to SMPS, and also the quality of manufacture and design with which these UPS are designed. These should be this gap of the delay time should be, or response time should be, as less as possible. In most of the cases, it should be less than or equal to quarter of a cycle. We will be discussing it later. So this is a generalized block diagram of an uninterrupted power supply or UPS, from which we can understand the basic procedure adopted. See, this is the actual input mains given from the AC source. Just consider this as it is a single phase AC supply. This is also straight away given to the relay, or this single phase AC is given to the relay. With that magnetic field only this relay can be operated. And this input is also converted from AC to DC with proper filtering. It will be made proper DC, and that will be given to the relay. Via this relay again, we will be having three paths actually. From this relay, the power is directly fed to the load, or at the output terminals it will be available. Output terminals it will be available. We can simply understand that the input is straight away fed to the load via the relay to the output terminals, as the relay switch is normally closed in some instances. Or you can also understand this, that input is always fed to the output or load side only via this path shown. That is rectifier, relay and battery voltage indicator, this path. There may be two ways depending on these UPS are classified. We will go through that later. So this is a simplified generalized block diagram. Just think that output is given from the input via a separate path, and the same is also converted to the DC, and via this relay the battery will be charged with the DC. And whenever the supply is shut down or turned off due to some reason, obviously what happens is this relay, normally which is an electromagnetic relay, will lose its electromagnetic energy and it will be closed to open the circuit breaker of this side of the circuit. And eventually what happens, but as battery is holding on to some charge, it will supply to the relay the same, with the same energy. Relay now again gets closed. From it again this DC coming out of the battery will be inverted from DC to AC, that is inverter control circuit, or proper output filtering will be done at power output stage, and load will get its voltage. And this is the battery voltage indicator. In this it is shown like whenever this battery voltage is sufficient to run the load or within the specified limits, then only it will be fed to the inverter control circuit, and inversion will be done and load will be given with the proper output voltage. Otherwise this will also not work. So these are certain features of a generalized UPS, or just we can understand that simply a UPS is a device or equipment which feeds the load from the source directly when the source is on, and also stores the energy in form of DC inside a battery, and when the source is turned off, it changes the circuit from source to battery, and now the battery will supply the required energy to the load via the inversion circuit. That is the concept of UPS. So what do we expect from any UPS? That is, the features of UPS should be its output frequency regulation should be within 0.5%. This is true for all electrical equipment. So the load should get an output voltage with as less possible frequency deviation as this much, 0.5%, or it is nothing but it will come out to be 0.5% of 50 Hz. That is 47.5 to 52.5 Hz. Regulation within plus or minus 0.5. And it should be incorporated with proper filters to suppress the AC noise or electromagnetic interference, which we have discussed as disturbances of various regions. There should be proper equipment, noise filtering equipment. So electromagnetic interference or AC noise suppression, noise filtering should be present inside any UPS. When compared to the battery, these are the extra features which are available in any UPS. Battery, when compared to the battery backup, and also the normal linear power supply. For a UPS with a sine wave output, a high quality unit will feature with a voltage regulating transformer. Obviously, we have discussed that this DC will be inverted to AC. So the output of this UPS when the battery is operating, it may not be sinusoidal. And in most of the cases it is not sinusoidal, it will be square wave or rectangular wave. And again, even the shape of those square waves will also be not proper. For that purpose, we have to shape those waves for which high quality unit is required, which comprise of all the required filtering equipment and wave shaping equipment, as all snubbers or MOVs and active and passive filters likewise. And the wave shape of the output voltage, if you want it as a sine wave, you have to be using a regulating transformer to nullify all the disturbances, which we have seen in the previous discussions, where even though there are many noises and disturbances in the output side, input side, that is the primary of the regulating transformer, the output side is devoid of all those things, harmonics and spikes. A simple sinusoidal output will be given. And if you want a square wave output, if you want means if the critical load can also be operated with a square wave supply, then the cost will decrease, and it can be obtained by featuring a pulse width modulator or PWM, which we have discussed in the previous sessions. So these are the features of UPS, or you can also say that the extra features which are incorporated when compared to a normal backup and a normal linear or conventional power supply. Now we come to the actual usage and classification of UPS, and this is the figure which we witness in most of the household and even commercial and office equipments. It is a particular type of UPS which is always seen in conjunction along with or besides a desktop computer. Nothing but a UPS or uninterrupted power supply, and they come with their own ratings like 650 VA, 800 VA, or 1.1 kVA, or 1 kVA, 1.5 kVA likewise, or depending on the load which you want to drive, the rating of these UPS can be increased also by increasing the rating of the battery backup. So this is a typical UPS. It can be of any shape and any color, and it may have different features and of any brand actually. And these UPS are classified as two types mainly: offline UPS and online preferred type UPS. There are only one type, online UPS. It is also called as online preferred type UPS. Again, this offline UPS is further divided into two categories: offline preferred type of UPS and offline interactive type of UPS. And these are the three types of UPS basically which we are going to discuss in this session by following the block diagram of these circuit features. We will be simply discussing the different blocks of their circuits, how they are designed, which block will do what purpose. So to start with, we will be discussing the working of offline UPS by utilizing its block diagram. Before that, just to have an understanding what an offline UPS does and what an online UPS does is explained in these slides. When it comes to a simple offline UPS, when the main supply is available, it is supplied. When the main AC supply is available, it is supplied as it is without any change to the load. Single phase AC, just consider that. And at the same time, with the same single phase AC supply, the battery is also charged simultaneously with rectified DC through a diverted path. Obviously, the single phase is straight away fed to the load as single phase itself. From the same thing, the supply is diverted and battery is charged. Obviously, why diversion is needed is that will be converted from AC to DC, a rectified path. A diverted path and acts as a backup supply, and it will be storing the energy. During the main power failure, the changeover takes place within 1/4 of a cycle or quarter a cycle. And for our country, the frequency is 50 Hz. Accordingly, time period is 1/50, that is 0.02 seconds. For a given half cycle, it is 0.01 second, and further it is a quarter cycle, means 0.005 seconds. A quarter cycle of a supply voltage or sinusoidal waveform of 50 Hz means that its time period is 0.005 seconds, or nothing but 5 milliseconds. That is the extra added advantage when compared to normal linear power supplies and battery backup, where it is automatically done. When the main power is fails, the changeover from the main line to the battery line will be done automatically within 5 milliseconds, which is sufficient to drive many critical loads without any interruption and without any problem. The design of this type of UPS is the simple. It is a cheaper one, and its control system is also simple. Its control system is also simple. Mostly for computers, we will be using this one. Online UPS, contrary to the offline UPS, irrespective of the input or mains, the main power is continuously supplied to the load through the inverter of the UPS. That is, when supply mains is on, then also that single phase AC is converted to DC and then inverted to AC. Proper wave shaping is done, and then only it is fed to the load. And when supply is off, the battery power will be inverted and fed to the load. So in both the cases, load will be getting its power via the UPS unit or inverter unit only. That is the first thing which was there in case of offline UPS. That is, when the main supply is available, it is supplied as it is to the load. This is not the case with online UPS. In the first case also, the AC supply is fed to the load via the inverter or control unit only. So this is the actual concept of offline and online UPS to understand with, and that is the main difference between both. The first one to discuss, it is a block diagram of an offline preferred type of UPS. Offline preferred type of UPS where input main supply is shown over here. It is fed via two paths, or it is tapped in two different paths. One of the paths is straight away connected to the actual load shown over here via a static switch, which is normally on. Static switch, the concept of static switch we have discussed in the case of choppers and AC voltage controllers, which will be simply nothing but fast acting switches which will be closing their contacts according to the need, closing and opening their contacts. Static switches. And the same input main supply is diverted into a different path, connected to a main transformer, next rectifier, next a battery, and next an inverter, next another transformer again, and another static switch similar to static switch 1, and it is fed to the load. So these are the two different paths. When the main supply is on, it is straight away fed to the load as it is without any change via the static switch S1. And the same supply is given to the transformer. What is the need of transformer over here? Obviously this is 230 volts AC. It can be straight away converted to DC, but for that purpose the rectifier or power electronic equipment and devices which you require should have higher ratings, which increases the cost, and also maintenance problems will be more. For that purpose, a transformer will be employed, which will obviously step down the voltage, step down this 230 volt single phase to the designed voltage rating of this rectifier, which may be of the order of 5 to 65 volts for a normal electronic rectifiers. For power electronic, you can have higher ratings, but normally this will be a step down transformer to suit to the voltage ratings of the rectifier. This can be, again, all the sorts of rectifiers can be employed: uncontrolled, controlled, semi-controlled rectifiers utilizing ACRs or IGBTs, MOSFETs, whatever concepts we have discussed regarding the rectifiers or AC to DC converters can be employed over here. That is rectifier. The output of this rectifier is again given to two paths, that is to a battery and another to a an inverter. But in this particular, as this is offline preferred UPS, the output of this rectifier is given to the inverter, but it is not fed to the load, as the static switch S2 is normally off. From this side there won't be any supply entering the load unless this static switch S1 opens. That will be sensed automatically, then the supply will be given to the load from this path. So in this path or in this branch, what happens is this transformer steps down the voltage and AC is converted or rectified to DC in this rectifier, which is used to charge the battery and it stores the energy. And whenever the supply is off, this S1 opens, which is sensed by this S2, and it turns on. At the same time, to this transformer, input supply is off, so rectifier output will also become 0. Again, sensing equipment will be there, as the incoming energy to the battery becomes 0. It means that battery starts to discharge. Its output, the DC output from the battery is again converted back to AC, or it is inverter. It inverts DC to AC, which is again fed to another transformer, obviously, which is a step-up transformer, output of which is a quasi square wave. Again, it is not a full square wave. You can use all the other wave shaping equipment in between also. In this block diagram, it is not shown. So this AC from the inverter is fed to the transformer. It steps up and passed on to the load via this switch S2, which will be on when the main supply terminals are off. So that is the concept of how an offline preferred UPS works. And this is a block diagram. This is an explanation of its operation by utilizing the block diagrams instead of the circuits, and we will be asked to explain the same with block diagrams only. So this is what we have discussed. During the normal mode, the load is supplied through the static switch S1, which is normally on, and the battery is charged through AC DC converter and a charge controller. That is your rectifier and charge controller. During power failure, the static switch S2 operates and the battery supplies power to the load through the inverter. Normally, single phase quasi square wave AC voltage is generated by the inverter of offline UPS. In most of the cases, whether it is preferred or interactive UPS also, the output of the offline UPS in most of the cases will be quasi square wave only. The changeover of the supply as it is from S1 to S2 is completed within quarter cycle or 5 milliseconds, so that the operation of the load is not disturbed. The backup duration depends on the capacity or rating of the battery and status of charge SOC just before the power failure. Again, this is one of the most important things which we have to keep in our mind, that if there are continuous failures from the power supply, battery will be discharging to the load, and it may happen such that during some times, if the supply source fails, at that instant the battery may not be holding the sufficient charge and voltage to run the loads. So it may turn on also, it may not turn on also. And if the charge and voltage is sufficient, then only the load will be supplied. But again, the duration for which this backup exists depends on the leftover charge, that is the state of charge of that battery at that particular state. If that battery is full, and if you are running the total load of that capacity of that UPS or battery, it will be supplying according to its requirements. Normally these domestic or UPS designed to operate for computers such that a 20-minute backup will be given to a single desktop computer, a minimum to 40 minutes. If the battery is fully charged, it may give backup to the desktop computer up to 40 minutes. If the leftover charge is less, it will be less. So that is like. The disadvantage of thyristor static switches S1 and S2 can be overcome by using MOSFET or IGBT switches. In the block diagram shown, SCRs or thyristor switches were shown, but they can be also replaced by MOSFET and IGBT switches, which will be more fast acting, or which will be faster acting switches when compared to thyristor static switches. So changeover time or delay time will be further decreased. So that is the operation of offline preferred UPS. And next, with some more extra features and different operations, the operation of offline interactive UPS will be there. As the name indicates, it is as if there is an interaction between the UPS internal units and the supply. When compared to the previous block diagram, this is somewhat different. That is the input to the inverter unit. This total block, just consider that this is the total inverter and charge controller unit. Unlike the previous case, the input to the inverter unit is fed after the automatic voltage regulator or transformer and the static switch only, static switch 1 only. In the first case, static switch was on and it is directly fed to the load. In this case also, it is directly fed to the load as it is without any change. But to the inverter unit, the supply was straight away given to this main transformer. Instead of that, in this case, the supply to the main transformer is given via this automatic voltage regulator transformer and this static switch only. So, and there were two transformers in case of inverter and charge control unit. Here you will be required only one main transformer, and you will be using another automatic voltage regulator transformer over here along with the supply mains. So these are the differences between them. Now whenever supply mains is on, proper filtering will be done due to this voltage regulator equipment. Whatever disturbances which may occur in the input mains will not be sensed, or it will be acting as an isolation also. This is normally on static switch. Load gets the voltage as it is, and the same voltage is given to the main transformer. And now this is a circular thing. For the incoming supply, this left side winding acts as the primary and right side acts as the primary and left side acts as the secondary. AC is stepped down. It is converted with proper charge control equipment. Battery is charged according to the charging requirement. So in this case, charge control is also employed, shown in this block diagram. So battery will be choosing its charge and its output will be given via this inverter circuit. But under normal conditions, this inverter will not be operating. When power supply is off, that is this S1 will be opened automatically. When this is opened, means there will not be any incoming supply. When there is no incoming supply, there is no step down action, or this charge controller is turned off. So there will not be any incoming charge to the battery. So obviously battery and at the same time, by sensing, this inverter turns on and battery discharges. And the DC is inverted back to AC, and transformer steps up the voltage, which will be same, fed to the load via this line conditioner. Wave shaping is done. So there will be a sort of interaction between the static switch and this inverter control unit. That is why it is called as interactive UPS or offline interactive UPS. In this, further wave shaping will be done, and charge controlling of battery is also done properly. So these are the extra features which are available, and also this AVR provides an electrical isolation, and also the spikes are filtered. So these three are the extra features when compared to the offline preferred UPS. For this purpose, its cost will be more, but efficiency will be more, and the shape of the output will be better square wave, but it will be somewhat bigger in size. So these are the things which we have discussed. It is when the main supply is available, it is supplied to the loaded battery, and battery is also charged through the controller. In power failure, S1 turns off. Now the CPU, central processing unit, or whatever you call, or charge control unit, starts working as an inverter and feeds the load. Instead of using a separate charging unit, as in the case of preferred, an inverter cum charger is used to reduce the cost and size of the UPS. This total thing will be taking care of all the things, so size will be decreased. So this is the working of offline interactive UPS, and the features of offline preferred and interactive UPS. They have their own drawbacks in terms of wave shaping and the proper output from the inverter unit, and also during the changeover times, even with that 5 millisecond of changeover time. For that purpose, the concept of online UPS follows that irrespective of whether input supply is on or off, the supply is fed to the load via the inverter unit or charge controller unit only. Online UPS will also have two paths. The other path is also shown, which will be directly feeding the load via this control unit via static switch S2, which is normally off, but this will be used when and only during those rare instances where this total inverter control and charge control unit fails. That is, when this intermediate source fails, then supply will be fed directly to the load as it is via S2. So this is for not normal operation. For all modes of operation, supply is fed to the load via the inverter unit only. So irrespective of the supply is on or off, it follows this path. When supply is on, it is rectified in this rectifier unit and fed to the battery. Battery charging is also done, and the same DC coming out of the rectifier is fed to the inverter. Basically MOSFET inverter or transistorized inverters, which are faster, and static switch S1, which is always on. There will not be any need of turning on and off or changeover times, and that will be processed in control unit where wave shaping is done. When compared to offline preferred and offline interactive UPS, the shape of the waveform coming out of the online UPS is further more near to sinusoid, and that is fed to the critical loads. In case of power failure, that is input main is off, that is rectifier output will be off. It is so as the incoming is off, the battery induced voltage or back EMF or counter EMF inside induced already stored inside the battery. Now it starts to discharge automatically. Actually, there is no opposition to it. So battery discharges, that is inverted from DC to AC and passed on to PCU and critical loads via the static switch S1, which is always on. So during both the modes, that is when supply is on or off, this S1 is always on, supply is fed via the source and the battery according to the requirement via the S1, which is always on or closed. So there is no need of any operation of changeover, that is The problem of changeover, even that 5 millisecond duration gap, is also eliminated in the case of online UPS. That is the added advantage of online UPS. So there will not be any flickering or affected operation of the critical load. And when the actual supply control unit fails, that is when there is no output coming out of the inverter, then this static switch S1 will turn off or it opens, which is always on. Now it will be open. As this static switch S1 gets open, that will be sensed by S2, then it will close its terminals. Input supply AC will be straight away fed to the load only during such conditions. So that is the operation of online UPS along with its advantages. Main supply is fed to the load through the converter, inverter, static switch S1 and PCU always, and the same supply is used for charging the battery also. When the supply fails, the battery instantly supplies the power owing to its SOC status of charge to the load through the inverter, static switch S1 and PCU. So power supply to the load continues without any interruption to the load. That is the advantage or beauty of this online UPS. In the event of failure of the inverter, the main supply is fed to the load through the static switch S2, which is normally off. Instead of using an SCR bridge, you can always use MOSFET IGBT based converters to reduce the size and weight of the UPS and to improve the power factor of the circuit. So by using MOSFETs and IGBTs, even the power factor of the circuit can also be improved in this case instead of SCR bridges. So faster switching actions will be there. Proper wave shaping can also be done, and also power factor is also improved in the case of online UPS. With this, we can achieve sine wave output. After discussing the main advantages and comparisons, we have already compared between those offline and online. These are some salient points which are followed in this UPS. The main supply is impressed to critical loads directly and also directly to the charging of battery in case of offline UPS. During the power failure, only the changeout takes place within the quarter of a cycle. Online UPS, the power is always supplied to the critical loads continuously through the inverter of the UPS. So that is to summarize the concept of UPS classification, its types: offline preferred, offline interactive type, and online preferred type UPS, of which sine wave can be taken as the output from online. For offline, it is a quasi square wave. Working we have discussed according to the block diagram. When it comes to this squeeze, in order to reduce the size and weight of UPS and improve the power factor, the bridge used is weak. Just now we have discussed that is MOSFETs. By using MOSFETs, we can eliminate all those problems. Backup duration of UPS depends on obviously the rating of the battery and also the SOC status of charge at that particular instance. In an online UPS, the power supply is online. It is continuous. Power supply is continuous. No problem of changeover is also required. In an offline UPS, changeover takes place in a quarter cycle or 5 milliseconds. UPS means uninterrupted power supply. The output frequency regulation is within 0.5%, that is plus or minus 50 Hz, 47.5 to 52.5 Hz. The shape of the output waveform of a UPS not particularly mentioned, so it is a square wave. Whether it is offline or online, it is not mentioned, it is a square wave. These are different sorts of questions which you may get. List the different types of UPS, differentiate online and offline UPS, the different features which are incorporated in them, which we have discussed, explain the working of online preferred type, offline preferred type, offline interactive type of UPS with their block diagrams. Then a simple question on the concept, what is the need of UPS and mention its applications, that is to act as backup, battery backup for critical loads, state the features of UPS. So these are the things which we have discussed in terms of UPS or uninterrupted power supplies, which are primarily used to supply critical loads. Supply critical loads. So that is all for this session, and we will be continuing our discussion furthermore how to design a UPS and choose different batteries for different purposes of UPS and the loads. Thank you.